Welcome into another episode of Locked On Phillies, but it's not just any episode. Today is opening day. We finally get to preview a baseball game and talk about this momentous day for baseball fans.
You are Locked On Phillies, your daily Philadelphia Phillies podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, this is Locked On Phillies. I'm your host, Connor Thomas. Thank you so much for joining us today on this opening day of Major League Baseball. We come to you as part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. You may know me from some of my other work in the sports talk space. I've been on air over at 97.5 The Fanatic doing sports talk radio here in Philadelphia for over 5 years now. This is my fourth season as a credentialed Philadelphia Phillies media member, and this is also my fourth season as the host of Locked On Phillies. Please make sure you're rating and reviewing if you're listening to this in podcast form. If you're checking us out on the YouTube, go to Locked On Phillies YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. It'll get you notifications when new episodes are posted so you don't miss a thing. It's also a great way to help us out here on Locked On Phillies. It's free and easy to do all those things. So if you enjoy the content, I would love it if you could do that stuff. We have an awesome episode for you today because it's opening day and everybody is happy. We were doing the morning show over on 97.5 The Fanatic earlier today. And for all the negativity with the Phillies so far this offseason, leading up to the season, spring training, all of these worries about the postseason and running it back and not enough roster moves, and can this team make it over the hump? The Dodgers are still waiting out there. All of these worries, it was largely positive. And that is because today is the day that hope springs eternal. That's the old saying, right? So we're going to preview the Phillies and Nationals opening day matchup right off the bat. We're also going to get into just some opening day thoughts about baseball in general. Maybe a little look around the league at some big awards that could be won this year. How many of those could go to Philadelphia Phillies? But just a general feeling of what opening day means and how it pertains to the Philadelphia Phillies fans. And then we also have off the poll responses on the win total that fans are expecting for the Philadelphia Phillies. I gave a couple ranges, so we'll see where people fall. I told you I'm looking at 93 wins for the Philadelphia Phillies this year. It's going to be a great season in South Philadelphia. We will see how the postseason goes when we get there. But on March 27th, I'm not thinking about October 1st. I'm just living in the moment right now, and that's a beautiful thing. We now get to focus on the actual baseball game getting played today. Not what's going to happen down the road, not who's going to be available, not are the guys going to hit, who they match up with. No, we're going to focus in on opening day, and it is a beauty. The Phillies taking on the Washington Nationals down in Washington. They start the season on the road at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, first pitch. And Zach Wheeler on the bump, facing off against lefty Mackenzie Gore for the Nationals. Now, we know what Zach Wheeler is, right, as we look at this game. And by the way, we're not going to preview the whole series because they have the weird built-in off day tomorrow. I get why baseball does it, right? You play opening day on Thursday. Friday is always the day off in case there are rainouts for opening day so you can get those games in. And then Saturday, Sunday are the round-out games of the series. And then you have the home opener on Monday against the Colorado Rockies for the Phillies, which will be another great occasion to get down to the ballpark for the first time. But Wheeler goes today, and where you start with the breakdown of this matchup between the Phils and the Nationals is Zach Wheeler's unbelievable, right? Now, I'd expect him to go no more than 5 innings today. I don't think they're going to take any chance, especially with Ranger Suarez starting the season on the injured list with his back stiffness. Shouldn't be too long. Sounds like the Phillies are expecting 2 starts out of Taijuan Walker in his place, and then he'll be back in mid-April. So hopefully not too long that we are without Ranger Suarez here as Philadelphia Phillies fans. But you don't want to compound that by throwing Zach Wheeler out there and saying, hey, let's throw him 6 or 7 innings on opening day. No, it's a long season. Nobody's winning any titles on day one, game 1 of 162. So you're going to be cautious, but I think you can get 5 innings out of Wheels. That's the expectation. Now, the Nationals are a fun team, right? They are. If you were just watching this game objectively as not a fan of either team, let's say you like an American League team, you're like, well, let's see what's going on Phil's Nats. The Nats are a fun team. They're going to be probably around 70 wins this year if things go to plan for them. So they're not just like a pushover team that you can beat. But when you send Zach Wheeler to the bump, every team might as well be a pushover team. He's dominated the division. He's dominated baseball. This game is going to start and end with Zach Wheeler going out there and giving you quality numbers. Something that is basically a law in baseball is that when the season starts, pitching is always ahead of hitting. Now, that doesn't mean that every game guys are going to be throwing shutouts. It just means that it's harder for hitting to catch up to true major league pitching. And spring training is not a true representation of what you're going to see once you get to the regular season, right? So you'd expect it to be a little bit more of a low-scoring game, especially with aces on the mound across baseball. I expect no different in Phillies Nationals. But if Wheeler goes out and gives you 5 innings with less than 5 hits, maybe gives you like 4 or 5 strikeouts, like right on that 4 or 5 number for all of those things, you're putting yourself into a great spot. The guys you can expect to see out of the bullpen, I'd expect to see the big boys. Unless this game turns into some type of rout one way or another, I don't see the Nationals routing the Phillies, obviously. But if the Phillies offense is hitting the ground running, which they could with the new look lineup, we're going to talk about that in a second, then you could see some Jose Ruiz work out of the bullpen. You could see some Tanner Banks work out of the bullpen. You may see Carlos Hernandez's first action with the Phillies, though I do think they want to get him acclimated a little bit more since he was acquired just before opening day, really earlier this week or over the weekend that just led into this week. So my thoughts on who's going to come out of the bullpen, I think they're going to be a little hesitant to use Matt Strahm because he is available. He's on the opening day roster, as we said he would be, but the shoulder impingement working his way back from that, I don't know how ready he is. I expect you'll see Jose Alvarado today as your top lefty. I'd expect you see Ryan Kerkering today as your top righty. And I expect if the game is close late, you see Jordan Romano as the closer. He may get action anyway, just to get action. But if the game is not close, that spot would be given to a guy like Jose Ruiz or Tanner Banks or something like that. Those are the guys that I'd be looking for out of the bullpen. Hopefully you have the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th to work with. Maybe you see Joe Ross get out there early in like the 6th inning. Maybe you see another guy like, I don't know. Maybe Matt Strahm does go to that. I don't see that as likely for the Philadelphia Phillies. But again, the bullpen's solid. They've gotten better with the addition of Carlos Hernandez. Matt Strahm being healthy is a big thing. You're in a good spot when it comes to the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen. The 2 guys I'd be pretty confident are going to see action today would be Alvarado and Kerkering because you want to go get game 1, right? And everybody's ready. So you go with your best arms. These guys have been stretched out all spring. Now, speaking of going with your best, the Phillies, per Matt Gelb, who covers them for The Athletic, will be using the same roster, or rather lineup, that they used on final spring training game. They will use it on opening day. To remind you of what that roster was, and we don't have the Nationals reported roster yet. We don't have the Phillies true reported roster, even though Matt Gelb has told us, covers the team, knows them very well. It's going to be this one. It's Turner at shortstop leading off, Harper at first base, batting second, Alec Boehm batting third, playing third, Kyle Schwarber DHing in the cleanup spot where a lot of Phillies fans wanted to see him for years, JT Realmuto batting fifth, catching, Max Kepler batting 6th, playing left. Nick Castellanos batting 7th, playing right. Bryson Stott batting 7th, playing second. Or batting 8th, playing second. And then Brandon Marsh batting 9th, playing center field. It's a damn good lineup, right? A damn good lineup. Where's the weak spot? Turner, Harper, Boehm, Schwarber, Realmuto, Kepler, Castellanos, Stott, Marsh. I guess the 2 points you'd want to look at is that Realmuto, Kepler, Castellanos thing in there. Realmuto needs a bounce back year. Kepler needs a bounce back year. Castellanos is streaky. And then you'd also look at Stott and Marsh at the bottom. And you go lefty, lefty, lefty with Stott, Marsh, and then, Trey Turner. And that's why they switched the lineup over, to give him more balance. You see what Rob Thompson is doing? It's making a little bit of sense, doesn't it? He might know a little bit about managing a baseball team. Now, it's early to say, because not about Rob Thompson, but about this lineup. And they're going to flip back and forth based on handedness. So tomorrow, if Mike Soroka is going to be Soroka, whatever, throws for the Nationals, could be their number 2, is a righty, then you probably see Kyle Schwarber lead off. So this could, Saturday, that opening day, and then the day off has already gotten me. Point is, you're going to see a new look lineup for the Phillies today. We will get a chance to see. I can't wait. I'm telling you, I can't wait for Trey Turner to hit a leadoff home run. And all the people that were like, Kyle Schwarber's power in the cleanup spot. And then he goes up there and goes yard. That would be incredible. I don't think it's going to happen. I want to see him have a more measured approach, but he's going to have opportunities because Mackenzie Gore, who's throwing for the Nationals, is kind of a reverse splits guy. So what that means is normally left-handed pitchers better against left-handed batters. Mackenzie Gore, in a shorter MLB career than a guy like Zach Wheeler, who's got a lot of time up. But Mackenzie Gore, I think, is heading into his 4th season with them. He is a guy that splits are kind of opposite. So better against righties, his numbers would tell you. gets hit around a little bit by lefties. So maybe you're looking at the lefties to have a big day. Guys like Bryce Harper, guys like Kyle Schwarber. I mean, Harper's a guy, something to remember, that normally starts the season slow. So you got to keep an eye on that. But you look at the lineup and you feel pretty darn good about the quality of the guys up and down. The approach is something we're going to have to watch throughout the year. I'm not worried about the approach on day one, right? I'm watching it, but it's not biting my fingernails. Will they swing at an outside slider? They're going to swing at outside sliders. It's baseball. I want to just see them go out and put together solid at-bats on opening day and find a way to beat the Nationals, who, as I've mentioned before, are going to be an important team to beat in the scope of the National League East. So you're starting right off with divisional games. It is time to hit the ground running. I would expect, and we're going to break this more down when we look at the next 2 games of the series on tomorrow's episode, as well as reacting to the first baseball game. I'd expect the Phillies to win at least 2 out of 3 in this series. You got to win the opening series against a team like the Nats. You're clearly better than them, top to bottom. Go out there, prove that you're ready to roll from Jump Street this year. And they were last year, so I'd expect that to continue. But I expect the Phillies to win today. One other thing that I expect. This is a deep cut Philadelphia Phillies fans will know immediately. We had some other Philadelphia sports news today. You might be asking me, why do I care about that? It's opening day. Well, the Flyers fired head coach John Tortorella. So that's some big negative news for a big name in the city. And Nick Castellanos is pretty darn good at hitting home runs when bad things happen. So the firing of a head coach, remember, he went yard in the spring training game the day Brandon Graham of the Eagles retired. Brandon Graham also in the Phillies hype video they put out today. Great work by the social media team. Quality hype video. I ranked it a 7.4 out of 10. My point is this. I've bet Nick Castellanos to go yard today. Maybe take a look at that. He was plus 600 when I got it. But outside of the Casty firing home run, I just want to see the Phillies play maybe a little more small ball than we're used to, because that would appease the fan base, and I think it would be enough to win. If they score 4 runs today, they're winning this ball game. If they score 3 runs today, it'll probably be tight. That's about where the mark's going to be. We're getting our first taste of what this Phillies team is going to look like with this new look lineup as well. So a great opportunity for the first data point. And remember, it's data point 1 of 162. No grand proclamations after day 1 of the season, but it's our first instance of watching this team in 2025, a very anticipated season, even if you were on the negative side of the anticipation. Speaking of anticipation and sample size 1 of 162, coming up next, we're going to talk a little more about opening day in general. Some things to remember, some things to focus on, and what it really means for Philadelphia Phillies fans, where you need to get to mentally, I think, to best consume this baseball season, or where at least I'm going to try and get to, and you can follow along with me if you like. We'll talk about that coming up as we continue today's episode of Locked On Phillies. And with the return of baseball season, it means we got to tell you about Prize Picks again. Baseball season is getting going, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With Prize Picks, you pick more or less on at least 2 player projections. So let's say Bryce Harper's projected 1.5 hits. Trey Turner's projected 1.5 hits, and you pick more on both of those, and they both have 2 hit ball games today in Washington. If you're right, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs. Prize Picks keeps every game exciting. There are a lot of options this week. Now, Bryce Harper doesn't start off the season well, but I think Kyle Schwarber's really going to. He was looking solid in spring training, and I'm picking him for more than 1 home run. I think the cleanup spot's going to be good for him on opening day. Maybe that's another bomb to look for. And I'm also looking at, in this first game, Zach Wheeler, strikeouts. I think he's ready to go too. More on both of those. Let's run with that. It's that easy to set up a lineup. It takes less than 60 seconds. There's special promos too. I always take advantage of Taco Tuesday, where Prize Picks offers discounts on select player projections for even more value. So go ahed and check them out. Download the app today and use code Locked On MLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Locked On MLB for $50 off instantly, or $50 instantly, I should say, after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, I also want to tell you about our friends over at Supply House. Supply House is awesome. They set you up if you work in the skilled trades. you got to go to Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades with Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you're going to find exactly what you need every time. Delivered fast from coast to coast, all over the country. If you need help with an order, well, Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you're always going to talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, you got to check out their free Trade Master program, which offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, discounts on every order. You can't beat that. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM. T as in trade, M as in master, and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, you can use promo code SH5, S as in supply, H as in house, 5 like the number, for 5% off your first order. Go ahead and check them out. That's supplyhouse.com. All right, opening day is special. I made this, I used this wording, I guess this phrase to open the show, but hope springs eternal. That is the beautiful saying when baseball season gets going, because everybody, besides the Cubs who are 0-2 already and the Dodgers who are 2-0 from the Tokyo series, getting it started about a week ago, everybody starts 0-0, and you have the opportunity from the White Sox up to the Dodgers and everybody in between. You can believe that maybe the magic happens. Maybe this is the year. Is it a repeat? Is it a return to relevance? Is it getting over the hump like we're looking for the Philadelphia Phillies? Now, I did this math today, and I went through Major League Baseball teams across the league. And I counted out the ones that I consider truly having a chance to win the World Series. And I came with the number that 19 teams have absolutely no chance. Sorry to absolutely dash the hopes of some of the bottom feeder teams, but let's be real. The Marlins and the White Sox aren't winning the World Series this year. There's a lot of teams out there that aren't winning the World Series, 29 to be exact, but there are 19 that I could say pretty comfortably today are not winning at all, which means there are 11 teams with a chance. And when you break that down, 63 and some change % of Major League Baseball, they don't have a shot to win at all. They just don't. Now, this is my opinion, but I was conservative with the numbers of teams that I think can't win it. And that still got you to nearly 2/3 of the league. So with that in mind, we need a little perspective when it comes to the Philadelphia Phillies. You may head into this season and say, I'm worried about October. I'm worried about the offensive approach. I'm worried about the pitching staff staying healthy. I'm worried about everybody staying healthy. I'm worried about the manager. I'm worried about no offseason moves. All of this stuff that I'm not rolling my eyes at because I don't think they're valid concerns. I just, opening day and we're doing this. Like, give it a second. We'll have plenty of baseball games to get upset about this year. Even if they win 90, let's say they win 92 games, they're still going to lose 70. Like, there's plenty of losing that happens in even the greatest baseball seasons. My point is this. There are people waking up on the south side of Chicago this morning that have more faith in the White Sox than some Phillies fans have. And those people are crazy. But you need to take advantage of the opportunity the Phillies have given you on this opening day. They've put together another 90-plus win baseball team. They're going to be a postseason team. They're going to fight for the division title in what I think is the best division in baseball. They have a great rotation and an awesome lineup and a solid bullpen, and they are going to fight tooth and nail to try and give this fan base what we desire, which is a World Series title. But that comes in October. Right now, all you need to look at is, do we have a chance on opening day? 63% of baseball teams do not. 19 of the 30 Major League Baseball teams do not, per my opinion. And we should be thankful for that. It doesn't make you sleep easy at night when we get to August, September, or October, and we're looking at a potential matchup with the Dodgers or the Braves or another great team. No, but where we're at right now, in March, you can't do much better than that, folks. Having a chance, it's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance, as the old line from Dumb and Dumber goes. Also with opening day, this is supposed to be basically a national holiday, right? If you're a baseball fan, this is supposed to be the happiest you are all year. Unless your team wins the World Series, opening day can be the most blank-minded, joyful you can be, because anything can happen. Could the Phils win all 162? Well, if they win today, it's still possible. They're not going to. But my point is, This is one of those days where you allow yourself to dream a little. For the next 6 months, every waking minute of my life is going to be Philadelphia Phillies baseball. And even if you don't watch every game, I know that a lot of your time in one of the best seasons of the year is going to be spent watching or thinking about this baseball team. I don't understand why you go into it with a negative view. I don't get it. Like, you can have concerns, but try and just enjoy, right? That's the thing. Would you worry about, like, would you not celebrate Christmas if you were questioning whether or not you were going to get the one present that you want? You'd still enjoy your time with your family, and you'll see if that's under the tree. You don't know what you're having for dinner for Thanksgiving? Well, guess what? You're still going to enjoy eating something. You're still going to enjoy football and booze and everything that comes with that holiday. Halloween, you might not know what your costume is, but you know you're getting some candy. You're going to enjoy that. You look forward to these, even though you don't know what the holidays hold for you. Well, you don't know what opening day holds for you or what the season holds for you. None of us do. We have predictions and projections, and all the experts are trying to tell you what they think is going to happen, and I've got my predictions out there. But at the end of the day, on opening day, everybody can be right. So why don't you just believe in what's going to make you happiest, which if you're a true Philadelphia Phillies fan, is this team being great and this team getting to where they need to be, right? This is the segment that'll make you throw up if I do it in September. But in March, as we get ready to watch the Phillies take the field for the first time in a game that matters since they got knocked out by the Mets way back in October of 2024, this is the time where I can get a little sappy and say, hey, even if it's just for today, let yourself believe in something. Please do it for me, your pal Connor, because I want everybody to enjoy their opening day. And that's the beautiful thing about baseball starting. It's such a marathon, like basketball, hockey, kind of close, where game one is an opportunity to kind of see what you've got. But one game can make a hell of a lot of difference. And it can in baseball too. Football, you better be ready by game one because you only play 17 of them. In baseball, there's 162 darn games for you to worry about. That's why opening day is beautiful, because the stakes are low, the opportunity is high, and you have a chance to just sit back and enjoy something that you haven't seen in what feels like forever when you think about all the stuff that's happened since the Philadelphia Phillies last season ended. Coming up next, I've given my win total prediction for the Philadelphia Phillies for 2025. We're going to get into your off the poll responses because I gave you a range to pick from in our Twitter poll for the week. And I'm also going to talk about some awards for just around baseball, the big awards that will have to do with some of your Philadelphia Phillies players. So we will talk about that coming up as we continue today's episode, opening day episode of Locked On Phillies. And if you need an opening day snack, one that makes you say, man, baseball's back. Phillies aren't at home, so you can't go down into the ballpark and get the sack of peanuts from the vendor. What you can do is you can get wonderful pistachios. Because if you're looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, crack into a good source of protein with wonderful pistachios. They're better than any ballpark peanuts. They're one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. I got my bag here, the empty bag, of course, because I ate them already. The no shells version, the sea salt and vinegar, wonderful pistachios. That's my favorite kind that they have. You can get the ones with the shells. They have a bunch of different varieties, flavors, everything you can imagine. Pistachio flavors you never even thought of. And it's great because all of them are good for you and they're great tasting. It's the perfect snack, not just for baseball season, but for any season. So get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Check them out. It's baseball season. You got to have them in your nuts. All right. So our off the poll question, I was asking Phillies fans on Twitter what they think for the Philadelphia Phillies win total. Now, we had a range of possible outcomes. The 4 options that I gave you on where you think the Phillies win total will end up. The first option was less than 85 games. Obviously, that's the most conservative option, all encompassing there, anything 84 or under. 85 to 90 was another range. 90 to 95 was the third range, and then 96 plus. I think that's near the top end of the place where the Phillies can be. Now, this is surprising to me. I don't know what I make of this. We had more votes for less than 85 games than for 96 plus. I don't think 96 is out of the question for the Phillies. They won 95 last year in a division where another team in that division went to the NLCS. I know the Mets didn't have an outstanding regular season, but It wasn't a bad division. And they were terrible, the Phillies were, for like 2.5 months of the season. They still won 95. I'm surprised that only 5% of our responders said 96 plus wins, but I get it, right? People are being very conservative with this team. People feel a certain type of way about their consistency. I'm not going to kill the fan base for not believing they'll win more than that, especially when I don't have their win total in that range. But it was interesting that there's more negativity, less than 85 games, than positivity, 96 plus. Still, only 12% of responders said less than 85 games will be won by the Philadelphia Phillies. That means our two leaders are right in the range where I think they should be. 21% of responders said the Phils are going to win between 85 and 90 games. And the whopping winner, 62% of the vote with 4 options on the table, said the Phils are winning between 90 and 95. We did our predictions on the air this morning on 97.5 The Fanatic. And of course, you know my predictions, 93 games. Andrew Salchunas, who's one of the hosts on the morning show that I work with, he predicted 92. John Kincaid, the other host on the morning show, predicted 94. So we're all right in that range. I think that's where most rational Phillies fans fall. 90 to 95 is right where you want to be. I think that's right where the Braves will be too. So again, a dogfight to win the division. But I love that 62%, a comfortable majority of Phillies fans, are saying that this team is going to be a plus 90 win baseball team. And that's going to put you in the postseason, and that could win you the NL East. And that's going to give you a solid chance at being in a good path to compete for the World Series, right? That's all you can hope for going into the postseason. You don't know how stuff's going to break out elsewhere in baseball and where the Dodgers are going to sit and all of that. They could win 120 games for all, who knows, whatever. We'll see how that plays out. But that's LA's time to worry about it. Focusing on the Phillies, I like what the fan base is feeling as we sit here on opening day. Now, a couple of general predictions if you want to get some bets in. I would use our friends over at FanDuel for that. The awards for the season. We didn't do this in yesterday's predictions episode because I wanted to keep it more Philly-centric, but just some general stuff as opening day is a national baseball holiday. Your NL and AL MVPs. I think NL MVP is pretty darn easy. If you're not picking Shohei Ohtani, you're crazy. I know some people are taking flyers on Trey Turner or flyers on Bryce Harper, and they're solid value bets. I don't know that anyone on this team has an MVP caliber season because I don't think that anyone's going to be able to keep up with Ohtani. It's not that Harper's not a great player or Turner might not have a great year. It's Ohtani's just so good, and he's probably going to pitch again at some point. Like, the guy's unbelievable. He may be the greatest baseball player in the history of the world. So you kind of got to live with that. My American League MVP pick, just something to keep an eye on. I really like Bobby Witt. I believe he's the odds-on favorite for the Kansas City Royals. So keep an eye on that one. I'm going chalk with those. As far as the National League Cy Young and the AL Cy Young, I think the AL Cy Young, there's a value bet here, and I'll tell you about the NL Cy Young. It'll give you an idea why I'm saving it for last. It may have to do with Philadelphia Philly. AL Cy Young, sneaky bet, Logan Gilbert, Seattle Mariners. Take a look at that one if you want to try and win some money. Good value bet there. The AL West is kind of a down division this year, and he's not going to have to face as many good hitters as people in the Central or the East. I think Logan Gilbert is a sneaky, top 15 pitcher in baseball who could really benefit from an easier schedule out there in Seattle. Had a good year last year, really good year last year. But the NL Cy Young Award, I think, and this is, listen, I didn't pick Harper, I didn't pick Turner, I didn't pick anybody for MVP. I'm picking Zach Wheeler as my NL Cy Young vote. I think he's going to finally win the award. I think this is half and half something. I think it's half Wheeler performance. And part of that is he's just unbelievable, and he's been unbelievable, and he will continue to be unbelievable. Like, there's no signs of slowing down for Zach Wheeler. You haven't heard any commentary that he looks any bit aged or anything like that. Like, nah, he's ready to rock. And we'll see the first bit of that today, hopefully in his first win of the year, if he goes out and gives you 5 innings and qualifies for what would be a win in a pitcher stat. But just see some great outing from him today. That would be very, very helpful to Phillies fans psyche to remember, hey, we do have this guy who's just this unhittable pitcher. But I also think the other half of it is it's his time, right? He deserved it when Corbin Burns won it in Milwaukee. He deserved it a little bit last year when Chris Sale won it. Now, Chris Sale deserved it more, but any other year, like Zach Wheeler put together a Cy Young caliber season in pretty much back-to-back years. Just so happened that Chris Sale was otherworldly. I don't see that again from him. And I think there's an opening as far as top hurler in the National League. People like Paul Skeens, okay, we'll see if he can do it for a full season. People like Spencer Strider, not healthy to start the year. I like Zach Wheeler. I think Wheeler's going to go out there, and Wheeler is going to win the National League Cy Young Award. He's going to be the first Philadelphia Phillies pitcher to win it since Roy Halladay. And remember, that was a pretty darn good rotation there too. So if you want to say, oh, well, too good of a rotation all around for Zach Wheeler to stand out, wasn't for Doc. We will see how that plays out. But there's a lot of opportunity for the Phillies this year. A lot. You have it better than, like I said, at least 63% of baseball teams and baseball fans right now. And that's just talking about teams that could win it. The Phillies are top 2 or 3 in like everybody's power rankings. As far as that's concerned, you have it better than probably about 26 or 27 teams in baseball. It's a good day to be a Phillies fan. It's a good day to be a baseball fan. So win, lose, indifferent. At the end of the day, in just 1 of 162 and not even 1% of the season's outcome being determined today, I just want you to do one thing for me. Not as a Phillies fan, but as a baseball fan. Enjoy the hell out of it. You only get so many opening days, and this is another beautiful one. So let's go Fightins. Need the Phils to go get game 1. Would love to see them win on opening day. 2 out of 3 in this series is a must, and I think they're going to get it done. Folks, the next time we talk to you, there will have been baseball played. Baseball that matters by the Philadelphia Fightin' Phils. That's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it very much. We come to you as part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Please make sure you're rating, reviewing, subscribing to the YouTube, all that great stuff that really helps us out here on Locked On Phillies. And remember, tomorrow we'll be recapping everything that goes on in the game today. We're also doing instant reaction videos. So check out the YouTube feed for my instant thoughts after every single of the Phillies' 162 games. We're going to get that all squared away for you, and you're going to have even more content this year than we've had in past years. So a great year of baseball ahead of us. I'll talk to you tomorrow on the next episode of Locked On Phillies.